Good morning. Good middle of the week morning, right? Middle of the work week. For those of you who only work Monday through Friday, right? Hey, a lot of people don't work Monday through Friday. A lot of people like health professionals, policemen, firemen, they got to work every day, right? I do too, but I'm not that essential. I'm not that important. I don't do anything important. But anyway, I hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a great morning. And I hope you're having a great month. My goodness, this is the 14th. It's almost halfway through September. September's just like gone. It's just crazy, isn't it? Right? I don't know. Everything's a little bit crazy right now, it seems like. Anyway, so I got a question for you. I want to ask you, and I titled this, Do you have a better idea? See, I had a whole bunch of stuff happening. I'm like, is everything around here going to break? The my blender that I used to make Chris's meals broke, so I've got to either go buy another one today or do something. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But it's broke. Um, what else broke yesterday? It seems like there was something else. I broke. No, I'm good. Uh, I don't know. There's been several. My computer's not acting right. I'm like, do I need to buy a computer? My treadmill stopped. That's serious, you guys. That's almost as serious as my computer. My treadmill needs something. It has a message on it, so I don't even know what to do with it. It says something about lube, oil and lube the tread or something. I don't even know, Bear. I don't know. So I don't know what to do with it either. But anyway, so I was like, is everything just gonna all in one day? What is going on here, right? But anyway, those are minor things. Those are minor things. But have you ever had days where just a whole bunch of things seem like they went south, right? So many things, maybe some things broke. Goodness, one day I had, it's a family joke now, but I had a day my bicycle broke. It was a brand new bicycle, and I took it back to Walmart. They had to order the part. I test drove a car that day, and I actually had a flat and walked back to the dealership because we didn't have cell phones back then. Right now, everybody there was rich people had like car phones, big mobile phones. They were big. They were big things. They were as big as an answering machine, office phone. And they had them in their cars. But the vehicle I was test driving definitely didn't have one. So we walked back to the dealership. It wasn't far. I had the kids with me. It seems like we went. I saw I rented a movie. Said, "Man, this has been a horrible day. This is just everything's going wrong." I got a movie, old VHS, put it in the VCR, and just as it was building up to the climactic ending, it broke. And I took it back to the video store. Yeah, those used to really exist. Yeah, maybe all young people would know nothing about those. But anyway, I took it back to the video store there in Stratford, and I said, I need another copy because it broke at the end. Said, we don't have another copy. Pick another movie. I'm like, no, no, no. I need to know how this movie ended. I don't want to watch another movie. I want to know how this one ended. So I was really upset. It was just bam, bam. All of those happened on a day, and those are now I can laugh about it. But that during that day, all of those things were just traumatic. I had also just found myself as a single parent, and so other things were going on in my life too. And so yesterday, last night, the blender stopped working while we were watching America's Got Talent. Ooh, we'll find out who won tonight. But it broke, and I was trying to think. Well, it seems like there was something else that broke. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, so all these little, and these are all little things, right? But do you ever have those days where, and maybe you have periods in time where it just feels like things aren't quite going like you wanted them to? And my question is, if you don't want to trust God for little things and big things, you got a better idea? See, Peter thought about it, I think. Now, I'm kind of reading into this story, but it's in John 6, they were no longer able to understand what Jesus was saying. They were saying, who can understand these sayings that you're saying? And it says in John 6:66, 666, from that time many of his disciples went back and walked with him no more. So people just stopped following him. They said, this is where I draw the line. I'm going home. I'm going back to my business. I'm going back to my families. I'm going back to whatever I go back to, right? And they stopped following him. So Jesus said to the 12, so at least they were still with him, right? Do you also want to go away? But Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of life. We come to believe that you are the Christ. So he says, so then he said, did I not choose you? And one of you are the devil. He's talking about Jesus. But anyway, and so I think that we could safely assume between do you want to go away and Peter's answer that maybe Peter had thought about it. Maybe he had thought about it. Now, I'm not, I'm putting a lot in that, but I think I can take that liberty because, Jesus says, do you want to go away? And Simon goes, where would we go? Indicating we don't have anywhere to go. Where would we go from here? And so my question is, if you are in that indecisiveness of, do I trust God or not? Do you have a better idea? If you're not sure you want to trust Him with everything, you got something better to trust than God? You got something bigger to trust than God? You got a better plan than God? Right? So if you're not sure you want to trust Him yet, what's your big idea? Right? How could we not trust God, the Creator? And I thought all day yesterday. I almost went into some creation scriptures this morning. I may have to go read through them again today, just because I enjoy them so much. Um, but when I was thinking about how God spoke in Genesis 1 the plants into existence, and they were mature plants, and they bore seed, so there would be more plants, and the plants we see today came from those plants. That just blows my mind. Now that's not real super sciencey. That's not real too nerdy, a little bit maybe, right? But to think that I'm looking at the tree out my window and that tree came from a seed way back from a plant, plant, back all the way back to the Genesis 1 where God created the plants and they bore seed after their own kind. And maybe they've mutated somewhat over the years, and maybe they've changed a little bit because of environments and things like that. But the plants we see today literally started there. I think that's just amazing. And so how could I not trust that God? How could I have a better plan than trusting a God that big? Because He hasn't been planting plants all these years. He spoke those plants into existence and told them to bear seed and just continue making plants after their own kind, and they just do. So when you eat a salad, all of those plants started from a plant in Genesis 1. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't that just blow your mind? So I started to do that, but I went here because I was like, I think Peter said, I don't have anywhere else to go. Maybe some's lost in translation, or maybe they were being nice when they translated, or maybe it wasn't that at all. But when he said, do you also want to go away? And Peter said, where would we go? Maybe there was a little bit of, I don't have anywhere else I don't have another basket to put all my eggs in. Right? I don't have something bigger or better that I can trust in. I can't trust in the financial institutions of the world. Some of them aren't even insured anymore. You got to be careful with those, right? And so, do I trust finances? Do I trust my jobs? Do I trust my health? Do I trust, do I, in the Old Testament we saw so many people they made a god, and even and even uh when they came out of Israel, God delivered them out of Egypt, not Israel. God delivered them out of Egypt. They come out and they make a golden calf and they say, this is the God that brought us out of Egypt. How crazy is that? Maybe we're not going to do that, right? Maybe we're not going to go out here and pick up, here, I've got here's a stone. This is some sort of stone. Oh, is this going to be my God? No, maybe we're not going to make something physical, that can't respond to us, that can't create a plant in creation that continues creating plants and all these years. It created animals in creation that are still making animals today. Man, when He sets something in motion, that's the God I want to trust in. I don't have a better plan than that. Be right? But if you got a better plan than that, the one who created the first Adam breathed one breath of life in him, and we're still breathing from that breath. All life has come from that one breath. This is a magnificent God. This is the all-powerful God. This is an all-knowing God. Who would have even conceived the idea. Well, we couldn't have until he created us anyway. But who could have even conceived an idea of making something that would just continue to make more of it over, that would exist all these years, right? And I say all that to say God is just marvelous in all of his ways. If he can do that, he can help me with my situations. If he can do that, and that's a real simple thing in one respect, right? Where else would we go? Where else could I take my concerns? Where else could I take all these anxieties, and God knows there are many, right? And go, okay, God, I don't know anymore, right? What could I give them to my piano? I don't think that would work. Maybe I could give them to my plants, right? My plants, or maybe I could give them to my TV. Maybe I could give them to my counselor, even. Why? Where else would I go? I don't have a counselor, by the way, but if I did, right? I'm not against counseling, but is any of that as effective? Can I just go, oh, my great piano, here's all of my worries and here's all of my concerns, and help me make some money today because I gotta buy a new blender thingy system, and does that even make sense? It doesn't in our culture, no, but in some cultures they actually pray to a rock and expect some answers. They it's like praying to a coffee cup and expecting it to answer, and expecting to get direction from, well, can't, I do need some coffee, but it's not my God, right? So you got a better plan? You got a better rock to run to? Do you have a better shield? Do you have a better idea than trusting this huge creator who made us? That creator who spoke all that into existence and formed Adam with his hands and breathed one little tiny breath into Adam, and it's still sustaining all of us, is the same God that David talked about in Psalm 139. You formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. I think I'm going to stick with that plan to trust God. This all knowing, all powerful, all present, all those big words, omniscient, omnipotent, right? The only wise God. I think I don't have a better plan. But if you've got one, let me know how it works out for you. But I think I'll just continue to trust him one day at a time. I think I'll just continue to I think for today, I'll just trust him for today, because that's all he said we have to handle is one day. Each day has enough trouble for itself, right? Just face it with him, trusting him, because I don't have a better plan. Do you? Peace out. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.